Hey, hey, guys, gals, and non binary pals. Hal here, bringing to you more random content from this side of cyberspace. Ah, man. Tonight is going. I will attempt, at least, for tonight to be as comfy, cozy as possible for whomever might be listening to me right now. and it's just gonna be me trying to read a few storytelling to tell stories, to read some bedtime stories for, I don't know, perhaps it's for the benefit of not only you, the listener, but also for probably myself. Yeah, it's Thursday, my dudes. It's close to the weekend, and well, let's just take all the small victories that we can get, you know? Well, tomorrow is gonna be Friday, so. Also, hello, Sess. Welcome to the stream. Thank you. How are you? How are you, pals? How are you? Feel like the bear gets the pats. Yes, absolutely. I will attempt for tonight to be as comfy for many of you as possible. I already have my big book of bedtime stories down here. I already have my little nightcap, and well, sadly, since Benny the Blahai can't be with us, as you've seen on my starting screen, he can't be with us because he's a little bit of a camera shy sort of person. He'd rather be in my bedroom. So instead, I will have Sir Tedsworth here with us. Look at him. He has his little sleeping mask on. Just to be ready for the occasion. He also insisted on wearing the tie because he wanted to appear formal to you pals in his debut in this stream. Yeah, he is indeed a distinguished gentleman. So if any of you listening in right now, if you think that you have any other friends as well who might want to be in the presence of a comfy stream amidst the chaos of a Thursday or the tail end of the week, the weekday, there we go. Please invite them over here and let them partake this little comfort, this little attempt of a comfy stream. But yeah. Thinking about it though, this is going to be the very first storytelling stream that I'll ever have. It's kind of special, because telling stories to an audience was a type of content that I've always planned on doing. The thing is, I just never had the courage to do so. Well, up until now, at least. You see, because stories and reading books have always had a special place in my heart. You see, I grew up surrounded by books. I grew up reading books. Back when I was younger, I've always even spent more time in the library rather than playing with the other kids my age. It's the feeling of fantasy, the discovery, the exploration, and learning that I felt are things that have and always will stick with me. Now, hopefully, that I have a little bit of an audience, I'll be able to share the exact same feeling with you pals. Hopefully, you'll understand where I'm coming from with these sorts of things. Though I do believe tonight is just going to be a short stream since I only have, what, around 5 or so. I only have around 5 uh, stories in line here. 4 rather short ones and 1 rather long one. Gotta save the rest for next time, you know? With that being said, though, before I do officially start my reading, I want to set out a few, I don't know, ground rules, I suppose. So, yeah, some ground rules. Let's just call them that. The first thing I want you to do, dear listener, is to relax. Get yourself comfortable. All right? And 2, help out with a comfy vibe. What I mean by that is, if you are here in live chat right now, just don't do anything to disrupt the stream. And probably if you are going to be listening to the VOD here, leave some nice, comfy messages down in the comment section down below. And yeah, and finally, and I suppose most importantly, since most of the stories that I will be telling are children's stories, I want you, dear listener, to just enjoy the innocence of these stories. Let go of all the cynical wisecracking that you've built up growing into this harsh world of adulthood. Just take them as they are. I guess, yeah, with all that being said and done, get yourselves comfy, have a nice warm blanket around you, or, ease yourself into that chair of yours if you're in front of your computer doing something. And let's start off with the first story, shall we? This one. I will. Alright, along with that as well, if you do want to read along, I'll be putting in the links to the stories that I'll be reading. Alright? So the first one is The Thank You Book. There you go. The Thank You Book. A rhyming poem about being grateful every day for love, beauty, and family. The Thank You Book. Written by Jade Mater. In the morning, when the sunshine glimmers out of the blue, I look outside my window and think, world, I love you. The breeze is warm and welcoming. It holds me in a hug. And everyone and everywhere is showing signs of love. I watch the gentle branches of the trees that touch our house. They help us breathe and make a home for birdies, ants, and mouse. I see the tips of neighbors' roofs. A postman rings the bell. The doggy leaps to say hello. He gives his hand to smell. And by the way he gives his hand, and the way Pup sniffs it too, I can see that it's a sort of way they're saying, I love you. 3 friends walk by in summer clothes, in hats and long sarongs. They tell a joke, and then they laugh, their laughter like a song. A boy rides by on bicycle. his daddy runs behind. He says, "You're fast, faster than me." His laughing eyes are kind. And I'm standing in the shorts my Nan bought me for bed. When I put them on, she laughed and clapped. "A real beauty," she said. So I'm in my pajamas, just as cozy as can be. She could have bought some chocolates, but instead she thought of me. And isn't that just how we love? By thinking of how sweet it would be if somebody else had something good to eat, or something good to cuddle with, or something good to play, or plan some sort of good surprise to make their happy day. I have a house above my head, a bedroom where I sleep, a place to play, a place to read, a place to talk and eat. And love has built up all these things. We're not a house, a home, because things are nice, but nicer still is knowing we're not alone. And sweeter than the sweetest song is Mama's call for tea. I hear it bounce from every room and travel up to me. I make my bed, put my teddy neat beside my cup. Someone sewed the sheets by hand. Someone dreamt them up. Look, Sir Tetsworth, you're here. Someone had all sorts of fancies dancing through their head. And then they thought, let's make a kid the nicest kind of bed. And now I'm in the kitchen, and my family is all there. Dad has made me porridge with such tender love and care. He's put the milk I like with it beside my special spoon. Talk about the day to come. The love fills up the room. I'm warm with it when school time comes. I kiss Mama goodbye. The bus is winking in the sun. The bus driver says hi. So lucky for this precious day. For all I'll see and do, I feel the love of everyone and say, I love you too. Huh, what a nice little story. uh, Let me just do something here real quick. There we go. I know. That was nice. Yeah, it was really nice. There's just something about the innocence about these types of stories. It feels, it just feels really nice. It's like these types of emotions, or like how even the words that you might even hear in these types of books, you don't really hear them too much anymore. When you're all grown up, and it's just so refreshing to hear it in this context through these sorts of books. Also, I sure do hope that my audio levels are pretty nice. Nothing is cutting out, or I'm not too loud and all that. Mm-hmm. uh, yeah, I think that was the first story out of five. And, It's a nice way to start these things up, you know. Also, since I don't think I mentioned it, but yeah, I'm reading from this big book of bedtime stories. I borrowed it from a moon rabbit friend of mine. She was kind enough to lend it to me. But this asset here was made by Minasan Sess, who is in chat right now. Pretty neat. I appreciates it. And I sure do hope this is not going to be the last time that we are ever going to be using this. So yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Pretty neat. Shout out to myself. Yeah, absolutely. Hmm. It's pretty. I just when I was looking for. I hope so. You have a good, chill storytelling voice. Thank you. Thank you. See, that's. I don't think I have mentioned it too much, but or have I? I don't know. But yeah, I think that's one main reason why I've started voice acting and then eventually streaming. It's because whenever I used to hop into random Discord servers, I would lull them in with this type of voice. This would be the type of voice that I would put on when making first interactions with randos on Discord voice chats. You know, first thing that I would ask is that, hey, do you stream or do you do ASMR content on YouTube? I'm like, no, I don't. Yeah. Then I guess eventually I just gave in to that and I started doing it, you know? Not the ASMR content. Um just the voice acting and all that. So yeah. It's a nice story. Let's see. Let's why don't we try off try out another story here. Ah, this one. It's a nice little collection of short stories that not really, yeah, a nice little collection of short stories that I found. Um, and I sure do hope that you guys would like this as well. This is a collection of short stories which really delve, uh, which I guess emphasize or just plays into how fantastical a young child's mind can be. So this story is I woke up one morning only to find it was written by Mary Luciano. And let's start, shall we? I woke up one morning only to find a dragon in my bed. I woke up one morning only to find a dragon sharing my bed. His tummy rumbled, so I quickly asked, would you like some cheese and bread? Yes, please, he replied, but I prefer something sweet. You look tasty. Are you good to eat? Certainly not, quickly replied. Maybe you'd be better grilled or fried. The dragon rolled over deep in thought and went to sleep with a teddy he bought. I woke up. I woke up one morning and found, shh, a lizard's head. I was shopping with Mummy at the grocery store when I happened to notice a shape on the floor. Shh, a lizard said. I'm trying to eat. Will you move to the left? There's some cheese at your feet. I moved carefully away and tried not to gawk as the lizard ate his cheese with a knife and a fork. I woke up one morning only to find an almighty moon. It was a warm and sunny day, and we were playing outside. My brother decided he wanted to hide. I started counting, but only got to 2 when I suddenly heard an almighty moo. Standing before me, whose over his eyes was a huge Jersey cow surrounded by flies. I think I saw your brother just over by the tree. But let's finish counting, and then we will see. So we carried on counting, right up to 10. Then we found my brother hiding and played once again. I woke up one morning only to find a monkey sailed past. I was swimming in the pool with my new float when a monkey sailed past in a monkey-sized boat. Do you know the way to the nice sandy beach? There's some friends of mine there that I would like to meet. I'm sorry, I said, but this isn't the sea. But you are welcome, of course, to come play with me. Thank you, my dear. That is very kind. But I'll go find my friends, if you don't mind. He pulled up his sail and plonked on his cap, then put on his glasses and consulted his map. I woke up one morning only to find. Hello, he roared. I was playing in the park with my friend Clyde when the lion slid down the slippery slide. Hello, he roared. Isn't this fun? Will you push me on the swings now until I am done? I carefully nodded and strapped in tight, and stood there and pushed him late into the night. Let's see, there are a few more stories here. Alright, let's do 3 more. I woke up one morning only to find I was running late. It was a Monday morning, and I was running late. So I waved bye to Mummy and ran out of the gate. I turned the corner, and what did I see but a huge giraffe standing in front of me? You've missed the school bus, I'm afraid to say, but your luck is in, as I am going that way. If you don't mind waiting while I go buy a stamp and get a quick message as my neck has a cramp. So he did all his chores and still got there on time to join the other children in the assembly line. I woke up one morning only to find a dainty step. I was tying my shoes for ballet class that day, and something landed beside me, huge, heavy, and grey. I'm sorry, the elephant said. I'm not very light. But when I get on that dance floor, I am quite a sight. You see, although I'm heavy, I manage a dainty step, and when I pirouette, I'm as graceful as the next. She pulled on her tutu and jetted away, and fell on this teacher who was stood in her way. And finally, I woke up one morning only to find some eyes appearing. It was bath time, and I was having a wash, when I suddenly heard an almighty slosh. Some eyes appeared, and then a big smile. I was sharing my bath with a crocodile. Would you get me some gel, please? This soap is too tough. It leaves my skin scaly and rough. And while you're there, would you get me a white fluffy towel? The one I bought is old and smells quite foul. He turned on the cold tap as the bath was too hot, and I got him a toothbrush, which he'd also forgot. Hmm. Yeah, I think that's it for that set of stories. um, just reminds me of the types of stories that I used to like really love when I'd hole up in the library back in elementary. Because back then in elementary, rather that during lunch breaks, rather than like spending time with the other kids in my age, I after eating, I'd immediately make a beeline towards the library. And there I scoured every shelf there was for like storybooks. Heck, I there was even a point where I finished up reading every single book there was that I'd resorted to borrowing like English books of the high school students because their English books in high school they would have like stories in them as well. See, I like those types of stories because they were or those types of books because they had collections of stories in them. And those were the types that I really loved a lot. I've mentioned it a few times already that I do love me my anthologies, collections of short stories, and these these things just tickle my brain in a way. Bite-sized media is better for it. I find bite-sized media better for me compared to just like one huge serving, you know. So yeah, yeah, that particular collection back there, it just made me happy when I found it. It was like a trip to the past. Mm, goodness, wait. Another thing that I noticed was that when I was also looking for these types of for stories to tell in these for this stream, was that I always gravitated towards stories that are poems. Basically, they had rhyming words. I think it's because again, just it's just another story time for me. Um, because back then, when I was younger as well, I used to be part of like what was the term that they used? Elocution competitions. We'd stand. I as a little data byte. I don't know when I was still kilobytes old. We'd stand in front of a stage, and then we'd recite poems in front of the judges, in front of the audience. Uh, I recall back then that I would always get either gold or silver But there was this one time that I placed last just because, for some odd reason, I forgot what the entire poem was. Even though I practiced, my mom even drilling the poem in my head for like almost 2 weeks, I somehow forgot everything about it. So when I got to the stage, I just said the title, I froze, and then after that, I just bowed and just left, exit stage left. I think I vaguely remember the crowd laughing at the absurdity of that as well. Because there's just this little kid who's just imagine that a little kid going up the stage, saying the title of the poem, pausing for 3 seconds, saying the title of the poem again, and then bowing, then exit stage. it was it was something. I think even my mom has a few pictures of that, of me in costume for that particular event. Those are good memories. Those were good memories. Anyways, all right. 2 stories down. 3 more to go. Hmm. Let's see. Ah, here's the next one. It is I can try, I can fly. A little sparrow has a big flying test. Jumping from the nest is a scary thing, but with the encouragement of his parents, he'll learn to find his wings. Hmm. Oh no. I think I'm gonna butcher the name a bit because I don't think I practiced saying the author's name, but I can try, I can fly. Written by Prarathna, Prarathana Gururujas. Gururuhaj. I can try, I can fly. I won't, I won't step out. Little Sparrow gave a shout. Oh, but you must, said his dad. Don't be scared, Sparrow. Don't be sad. The nest will soon be much too small. The nest will dry. The nest will fall. Little Sparrow took one look down. His tummy squirmed. He gave a frown. But I've never done this before. What if I just fall to the floor? This tree is tall. The wind is strong. My wings aren't big. My wings aren't long. Just don't look down, said his mum. She hugged him tight. He looked so glum. The only wind beneath your wings is a deep sense of confidence. What's that? Asked the sparrow, looking sad. How can I feel it when I feel so bad? Confidence. See, it lives in your head. It comes and it takes away all of your dread. It tells you that it's okay to try. It tells you that you, little sparrow, can fly. It says to you, jump, just take the chance to fly or to sing, to weep or to dance. It tells you that you have all the skill for something new, so don't be still. So come, my dear, and flap your wings. Tell yourselves you can do this thing. But what, Mamma, if I fall to the ground? Little sparrow made a sighing sound. Well, said his mum, give it your best, then try again, like all the rest. I can step out. Sparrow gave a flap and a shout. He spread his wings and stepped out of his nest. He jumped and passed his flying test. That was a pretty neat story, wasn't it? Machine Stalker Wolf, hello, hello, thank you for the follow. That was a pretty neat story. Now, pals, to anybody listening here, I think you already know why I chose that particular story. It's definitely because of, I don't know, it's it's just that. Have confidence into yourself. That's what it's trying to say, you know? That is something that I have been struggling with starting off for this streaming thing. But now, you know, I just stepped out of the nest, tried to fly. And now here I am reading some silly stories right in front of you guys. I really like it. I really like it. It's some words of encouragement from from, from an unsuspecting source, which is this little children's storybook. ah. Anyways, 3 stories out of 5. Uh, this one. This one. Now, this story here. This story is going to be the big one amongst the 5. So, I sure do hope that my little bit of practice, is paid off for this one. Because the next story that I'm going to be reading is The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the far end of town, where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing except old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax? And why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere, far from the end of town where the grickle grass grows? The old Onceler still lives here. Ask him. He knows. You won't see the Onceler. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of muffered moof. And on special dank midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you've paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snub, his secret strange hole in his grovulous glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whispermophone, for the secrets I tell are for your ears alone. Sloop! Down slops the whispermophone to your ear, and the old Onceler whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snurgly hose, and it sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean. And the song of the swoomy swans rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place, and I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits, as they played in the shade and ate truffula suits. From the ripulous pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those trees, those truffula trees. All my life I'd been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh buttery milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. And in no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill, and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and knitted a need. The instant I'd finished, I heard a gazump. I looked. I saw something pop out of a stump. Of the tree I'd chopped down, it was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish, and oldish, and brownish, and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Mister, he said, with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues. And I am asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed. What's that thing you've made out of my truffula tuft? Look, Lorax, I said, there is no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful This thing is a need. A need's a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses. Yes, far from that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains or covers for bicycle seats. The Lorax said, Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth would buy that fool's need. But the very next minute I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute a chap came along, and he thought that the need I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. I rushed across the room, and in no time at all, built a radiophone. I put in a quick call. I called my brothers and uncles and aunts, and I said, listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Wensler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road to North Nitch. Turn left at Weehawken, sharp right at South Stitch. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Wensler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting needs, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of the truffula trees. Then, oh, baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now, chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffula trees at one smacker. We were making needs 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week, he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots, who played in the shade in their barbaloot suits, and happily lived eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula fruit to go around. And my poor barbaloots are getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Wensler, felt sad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. I meant no harm, I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered their loads. The needs I shipped out, I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I was right on biggering, selling more needs, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again, he came back. I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. I am the Lorax. He coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffled. He snarled. He sniffed. Onceler, he cried with a crofulous croak. Onceler, you're making such smogulous smoke. My poor swoomy swans, why, they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in his throat. And so, said the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you've smogged up around here. What's more, snapped the Lorax, his tender was up, let me say a few words about Gluppity Glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making Gluppity Glup, also schloppity schlup. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old Onceler man, you. You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary, in search of some water that isn't so smeary. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax, now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap and say bad, bad, bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. For your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truffula trees into needs, which everyone needs. And at that very moment, we heard a loud thwack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack. Of an axe on a tree, we heard the tree fall. The very last truffula tree of them all. No more trees, no more needs, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts, every one, all waved me goodbye. They jumped into their cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggered stars. No, all that was left neath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad backward glance, as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in his smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left there in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word: unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago. But each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now, says the Onceler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So, catch, calls the Onceler. He lets something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds. And truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. And that was the Lorax. Such a nice little story. That was actually that was actually the first time that I've actually like read it to its fullest. So every time that I practiced for it, it was I only kept it to like over a quarter of it. That was pretty neat. That was nice. Although sometimes though I'd wonder because listening to other audiobooks, there seems to be a disagreement, I suppose, on how the word the tree is pronounced. Is it truffula, truffula, potato, potato, tomato, tomato? Yeah, who knows? But what's important is that you, you got to take care of them trees, you know. Mm-hmm. That was pretty neat. That was pretty neat. Ah, all right. So that was the fourth story. And I think this is absolutely going to be the last story. And I sure do hope that you pals did enjoy everything so far. This was a bit uh, comfy and cozy for you just listening to me say, read you these stories. So the last story, I suppose, is also going to be me telling you, pals, to sleep sweetly, little light. There we go. A sweet lullaby for sending tired little people to the most beautiful of dreams. Sleep sweetly, little light. Written by Jade Meter. Sleep sweetly, little light. Busy day and peaceful night. So many things you've learned. Boxes opened, pages turned. Sleep sweetly, little dove. So many moments full of love. Laughing eyes and snuggling arms. Gentle night so full of calm. Sleep sweetly, tiny babe. Skies of stars and winds and wave. Gentle kiss and peaceful breeze. Restful shadows, waving trees. Sleep sweetly, little bug. Wrapped and cozy, warm and snug. So many things you've done. Wondering, seeing, playing, fun. Sleep sweetly, little cloud. You make me oh so proud. You're sweet and good and kind. In your heart, your soul and mind. Sleep sweetly, little tune, to the silver of the moon, to the twinkle of bright star, and the universe so far. Sleep sweetly, little bee. There's no other child for me. Feel my love, my arms around you. Darling one, so glad I found you. Sleep sweetly, little chime. I'm yours, and you are mine. Tomorrow we'll find sun, big adventures, lots of fun. Sweets, sleep sweetly, tired eyes, under loving, twinkling skies. As the planet spins and turns, towering trees and tiny ferns. Sleep sweetly, precious heart, before another bright day starts. Dream and rest and rise anew, filled with all my love for you. Huh. That was one way to end. That's one story to end tonight's bedtime story stream. So, yeah, pals, I think that's about it. And I think I shouldn't keep you pals for any longer, because all of you might already be in your beds or just cozy in your seats. So, with all that being said and done, thank you, pals, for listening. I appreciate it so much. And I sure do hope that this won't be the last time that you're going to hear me tell a few more, some stories to all of you. So, yeah, with all that being said and done, that's about it for me tonight. And I'll see you all again until next time. Good night.